All right, so I'm going to begrudgingly do an update to the actor slash potentially imaginary character referred to as Edward Snowden. And if you have seen the first two short videos I did, more evidence of CGI Snowden, you'll know that I was discussing the fact that since the summer of 2013, when Edward Snowden's character was introduced into the narrative, he has been missing, and by the way, he, of course, is in quotation marks throughout the remainder of this video. He has been missing the right nose pad on his glasses. And so, summer of 2017, it'll be almost 4 years that his glasses have been missing this nose pad on the right side. And it's technically his left side, but since our perspective of it is the right, I'll say right throughout the remainder of the video also. So, this will be right and left. But he's been missing this nose pad for almost 4 years now. And the first part of the two videos was, let's see, where was that at? Here we go. The first part was going over the idea that came from one of the interviews he did where it looked like the missing nose pad had shifted from the left side to the right side. And I just did a short little video on this, and I got a comment in response saying, well, what probably happened is the audiovisual technician who hooked up the projector for the feed from Google Plus, he inadvertently flipped the image. And when you go back and look at the image with that idea in mind, you can see that the actual image has been flipped all the way down and up. So the whole thing was flipped, and in hindsight, that was probably the correct observation regarding what had happened here. So just kind of ignoring that part of it, you go on and you say, okay, this is the standard image that we're given of Edward Snowden, where it's missing on this side, and the nose pad is still here on the left side, and the hair's parted on this side, and the moles are where they're supposed to be, etc. This is an interview from December 2016. This is actually an ABC News interview. And again, you can see that the nose pad is missing on the right side and it's still there on the left side. And when they put this character outside of the normal black screen studio, you can see that the definition improves a little bit and he looks more human than he does in, say, an image like this, where his skin is, for whatever reason, it just looks very digitally created as far as the definition of everything goes, and the shadows and the lighting, etc. And then this is another interview from November 11th, 2016. And again, you can see the nose pad clearly here and still missing on this side. And this is a similar setup to what he normally does with this black screen in the background. So what's really interesting is Edward Snowden recently did a series of interviews, I think two of them, on this Vault 7 whistleblower leak from WikiLeaks. And if you can believe it, not only is the left mount nose pad still missing from his glasses, but now the right side has disappeared. So going back to the commenter who said, oh yeah, that's probably just because they flipped the image, and he was actually right in that instance, but I would really like to see what that person would say to explain away the fact that now the right one's gone. And here's another one with Jeremy Scahill. This is, of course, an actor. He's supposedly a political journalist, right? And it's an actor with an actor. And the question is this one a completely fabricated character while this one is real, or well, we'll get into that in a second, but you can see this is just another view where the nose pad is clearly missing from this particular feed. And what I find so interesting about that is, like, the videos from the original two videos that I did of Snowden were from early 2016 and some were from late 2015. And you can kind of see the difference in lighting that's taking place, almost like for each year there's a different rendering of the character that they've settled on, because you can see when you come back to these late 20 November 6th or November 2nd, 2016, these later 2016 interviews, you can see that they've kind of inserted a new shadow under the left side of his glasses, to the point where it looks like he almost has eye black on, like a football player would put under his eyes to remove the glare from the lights or the sun. And if you go through these videos, there's all kinds of weird anomalies. Now, this one in particular, I don't think I'm going to go too in depth, because they're almost like filming the projector behind Scahill here. And so you can see how there's like this green happening here, which I'm sure a lot of people would say, oh, that's green screen. But you can kind of tell the way the light is reflecting here, how that might be impacting the image that you're seeing. But the same thing is happening in the other feed, and there's also this weird anomaly happening with his eye right here, in addition to the missing nose pad on this side now, and this new eye black that he shadow that he has here, which again doesn't make much sense, because when you go back and look at all of these interviews that he did, he's in the same situation with the same lighting. Presumably he's in the same spot every time. So, you know, like for example, if this shadow hasn't changed in a year, why would this shadow change? If the light's still coming down on the same spot in whatever room he's in, right? It's always on the same spot, and then you have the same shade lines, and then you get this newer, it's like they added a shade line to the glasses, right? But then the nose pad has just vanished, poof, gone. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Because here, this is December 6th, 2016, and then what? A month later, it's gone? Come on now. So the question now is, what does this mean? And I don't really have the answer to this. I don't know how I could, because I don't know the capabilities that they have. I don't know what kind of technology they have. Now, the most extreme position would be, okay, this is a completely fabricated CGI character. And I think that's perfectly within the realm of possibility. However, you have to keep in mind that this character is interacting with audiences in real time during the Google Plus Hangouts, and he's being interviewed by an interviewer in most of them. So he's responding in real time to questions from both the interviewer and the audience. In other words, you have to allow for the possibility that there is a real actor playing this role in some way, shape, or form. Because I don't know if they have the capability to have a artificial intelligence portray a digital character and respond to people in real time. That's the only way that he would be a totally fabricated CGI character. Otherwise, you can't explain the interaction aspect of it, right? So let's forget about the idea for a second that he's a totally fabricated CGI character. What would be another possibility? Well, it could be a digital image that is based on another actor who is sort of behind the scenes in some control room or on some military base, responding in real time and acting out the facial movements and the speech, right? And this would be based on that actor's real voice as well. And of course, there's all those jokes about how his voice is so weird, like when Joseph Gordon-Levitt tried to mimic it in his portrayal of Snowden. And by the way, in the movie, Snowden's character has both of his iPads on his glasses, you know. So this is only in real life where this is happening, not in the fictional interpretation of it, right? That's how crazy this stuff is. But I'm sure a lot of people watching this saw this video when it came out last year. And what this group did is they were able to figure out a way to track a person's face and their facial movements and input it onto another actor's face, such that the actor's face that wasn't doing anything would be manipulated in real time by this actor's movements. And at the beginning of the video, they show this character doing it to a feed of George Bush. Now, of course, this isn't a live feed. This is this is footage of George Bush from an actual interview that aired, and then they digitally upload it to the computer, and then they are able to manipulate it retroactively to the image and have him have the image of George Bush responding to this character's facial actions. So that wouldn't technically be what's going on with Snowden, but you can get the concept of what it might be, right? If Snowden's not an actual real person like George Bush is, they could have the digital image of Snowden on the screen, and they could have an actor behind the scenes doing the speech and facial movements. In other words, just conducting the orchestra that is this fake character, right? Reacting in real time. So, I think it could definitely be something like that. Or you have to think along the lines of a psyop within a psyop within a psyop, and it could be entirely possible that this Edward Snowden character is a real actor and not CGI, not a digital image, and they have just put these anomalies into the character, like added the anomalies digitally to the feeds, so that someone like myself comes along and says, oh my gosh, this is proof that this person is a CGI character and not real. And the question would be, well, what would be the benefit of that? Well, at some point in the future, you would have this Edward Snowden actor do a real appearance in public, and that would discredit someone like myself who was out there questioning the realness of the character in the first place, saying, well, is it possible this character is CGI? And that would discredit by association the entire concept of a character in the news or playing whatever role they have it playing being CGI, right? It would discredit the entire concept because they would say, oh yeah, there's this person out there saying that Edward Snowden was CGI. And look, here he is appearing in public. We have all the pictures to prove it. It's clearly him. So that whole idea of CGI characters is crazy. So just going over some of the screenshots here. Again, this is pretty much what you can see in the video. So I won't go too much more into that one. And let's see. Yeah, other than the only thing I was going to bring up, you can see that one I showed earlier of his hands being green. Like a lot of people would say that he was behind a green screen, and again, that goes back to the issue of whether or not he is a real person or a digital image, right? If it's a real actor, the question is, would the feed of a real actor on Google, would it interact with the green RT box such that his hands turned entirely green, right? Would that glitch with this RT box in the way that a potentially digital feed, a digital image would glitch with this green box? You see the difference there? So again, that's just more food for thought. I don't know exactly what's going on, but we at least have enough questions now to really wonder about what's going on with this character. But that's really all I wanted to go into. There are some other anomalies in this video. Again, here is the screenshot of his right hand just completely going green and blurring with, you could say it's the RT box, or perhaps this is a green screen behind him. But this has never really happened in the older interviews. So again, are we in a situation where they're intentionally putting this glitch in, or is it just a matter of it interacting with this RT green box that's in the video? But yeah, there's this anomaly here that happens with his eyes throughout the video, where there's this dot that comes in out of nowhere. So again, you have to wonder, is this some sort of artifact from digital tracking technology that's keeping the actual head in the frame? And then you have the fact that his perma stubble is the exact same in every video. Again, there's plenty of other anomalies that I've gone into in the blog post and then in the past videos. So no need to go too deep into them now. But I just wanted to bring that up, and because I couldn't believe it. And again, you have these fake reflections in the glasses. So the question is, are they purposely putting these in here for us to see, or is it really just a sloppy CGI character? I don't know, because I don't know. I just watched Rogue One, and they have CGI characters in that movie. And at the very end, there's a CGI image of Carrie Ann Fisher that looks fake. I mean, you can tell it's CGI, right? So it's a question of how much are they holding back? Is that really the extent of the technology? Like they did Paul Walker in Fast and Furious 2, and that looked, you could tell it was CGI. So they haven't quite reached the stage, supposedly, where they can seamlessly integrate a CGI character that would be indistinguishable from a real person. Supposedly, right? We don't know what their capabilities are. So it remains to be seen if something like that's going on. And that's an extension of the whole CGI question, where is Edward Snowden being put out there so he's the representative of what a CGI character would look like, so that it provides cover for any other characters that are using some way more advanced technology that are actually seamlessly integrated fake CGI characters in the news or real events or whatever's going, quote unquote, real events or whatever's going on in the world, right? That are indistinguishable, and there's no one out there making any videos on them because there's no obvious anomalies like they've put into this Snowden character. So yeah, that's just food for thought. There's all kinds of different theories, and I'd love to hear yours if you have one on what could possibly be going on here. But I just had to point that out, how his the right side has magically vanished now, in addition to the left side. And of course, before somebody puts this in the comment section, like, yes, I've considered the fact that he just got new glasses that don't have any nose pads on them. But you can see, if you really look at these glasses, they're the exact same that he's been wearing since 2013. Same frames, same bridge, the whole same black outline here. And moreover, there's no way that that he would go for almost 4 years missing one of the nose pads and then just decide, oh yeah, now I'm gonna get new glasses, right? And I'm just gonna have no nose pads on those glasses at that point, right? So I think we can discard that sort of basic, really dumbed down common sense explanation for what's going on. So that's it for now. I'll leave it there.